Yes, sir. It's clear. It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, how about now? Is it clear now also?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for confirming that. So basically, whenever we are launching an EC2 instance, okay, so it is going to pick a default storage option. Do we have any option to delete it? No. Why? Because this default volume, we call it as a root volume. Root volume actually contains operating system. It's just like your C drive in your laptop. Can you run something without operating system? No, right? If you want to do any activity, you are depending on operating system only. So without this root volume, we cannot launch any EC2 instance. And there is a minimum size requirements are there. If you are selecting Amazon Linux, minimum volume size. So technically we call it as a volume. Minimum volume size is 8 gigs. If you are launching Windows instance, minimum size is 30 GB. This is minimum, okay, but what is the maximum? Maximum we can configure till 16 TB, terabyte. Still 16 terabyte we can configure. We have multiple options. So you see always it will pick GP2. Okay, we have different categories. But before discussing that categories, we will discuss the common categories we have in storage. So you might have, everyone have laptops, right? What is the storage type you have in that laptop? SSD, everyone. SSD? Okay. SSD is okay. Why? Because SSD is like, last 2-3 years onwards only, the people are using, or like, the manufacturers are like, giving all SSDs. Why? Because SSD is more cost. What is the difference between SSD and SSD? Obviously, performance, size. Size and performance, obviously, cost also. SSD more cost, SSD less cost. That is different thing. Okay. So here we have in AWS also, we have SSDs, we have SSDs, and before this SSD, we used to have magnetic also. Magnetic drives, magnetic disks. We still have magnetic disks in AWS. Total 3 types available in market, available with AWS. Within this SSD, we again have 4 categories. Okay. Again, in magnetic, we have 2 more, magnetic 1 category. SSD, we have 2 more categories. All right. So the commonly used one is a GP2. It comes under SSD. SSD means solid state drive. Solid state drive or disk. Okay. So SSD have like, we have GP2. General purpose GP means. Latest version of GP2 is GP3. There is no big, there is no drastic changes. Added some additional features. Whenever new version comes, AWS improve the performance. They did same thing. Properties, use case is same. They added some more properties. And the version name is GP3, general purpose 3. We have 2 more categories, IO1 and IO2. Okay, IO is means provisioned IOPS. So generally, storage performance, we are going to measure with a component called IOPS, IOPS. What does IOPS mean? Input and output operations per second. IOPS means input and output operations per second. So, how much data you can write to hard disk drive? How much data you can read from hard disk drive per second? By using that, how much data we can write, how much we can read, basically that is a measured metric. Based on that metric, we will measure the performance. We will tell, okay, this is working better, this is working slow, this is what we require. So based on IOPS, required IOPS operations, we are going to choose a required storage option. So this general purpose SSD will give, basically maximum it will give up to 16,000. 16,000 read and write operations we can perform per second. For example, you are opening a file. So on your desktop, you have a file, you are opening that file. So that is nothing but a read operation. So you have some files in your pen drive and you're copying it to your laptop. Technically, that is a write operation. Okay. So how many you can open, how much data you can write per second? Okay. So maximum we can perform IOPS operation with the GP2 is a 16,000. But if you need more than 10,000, we will go with the IO operations, IO option. So if you click here, you can find remaining options. First one is a GP2. You see here, GP3, general purpose SSD only name, but latest version, provisioned IOPS, IO1. Okay, provisioned IOPS, IO2, both are same, but this is the latest version, this is the previous version. Okay, so this will give this IO1 or IO2 will give best performance among all the available ones. We have GP2, GP3, IO1, IO2, SC1, ST1, and standard. Total 7 types we have. Out of the 7 types, this provisioned IOPS will give best performance. It supports up to 86,000 IOPS operations we can perform. Okay. Earlier it is 64,000, that is a standard one. And now AWS increased that value to 1,56,000 something, 1,20 IOPS operations we can perform. So the logic is very simple. If your requirement is less than 10,000 IOPS, go with the general purpose category. More than 10,000, go with the provisioned IOPS category. Okay. Only in production environment, whatever the server it is going to perform high read and write operations, for those servers only we will go with this option. We have HDDs also, cold SSD and throughput optimized SSD. This cold SSD and throughput optimized SSD, it comes under HDD category. Okay, it won't give best performance compared to existing ones. But if you are looking for low storage option, low cost storage option, then we can go with this throughput optimized and cold SSD. Okay, so S means storage. It starts with the T throughput, so you can call it as a SC1. Okay, storage, cold C, so SC1. All right, so cold SSD and throughput optimized SSD, both actually where we use, if you are using some big data operations, some log processings, more transactions required. Okay, so more data is processing instead of reading and writing. Okay, so more data is processing from the storage. So then we can go with this cold SSD or throughput optimized SSD. Okay, then the last one is magnetic. That is a low cost storage solution. Less performance, less cost. Okay, we never use that. All right. So now, if you are trying to select this cold SSD or throughput optimized SSD, it is giving an error. The reason is whenever you are choosing root volume, SSD won't support. SSDs, cold SSD and throughput optimized SSD don't support for root volume. Okay. So now when coming to your case, so till what level you need to remember this? Remember, we have SSDs, SSDs, and magnetic. Remember all the available categories. General purpose, provisioned IOPS, cold SSD, throughput optimized SSD, magnetic. So if you require less than 10,000 IOPS operation, go with the general purpose SSD. More than 10,000, or if you are looking for highest performance, go with throughput optimized SSD. Okay, for big data kind of operations, for log processing, go with the throughput optimized SSD or cold SSD. Very less cost, less frequently accessed data, go with the magnetic. These points you need to remember. Okay, so now I'm going with only 8 gigs for now. I'm selecting only 8 gigs, general purpose SSD GP2. Then do you want to encrypt? Do you want to delete and termination? Delete and termination. What exactly that means? If you terminate your EC2 instance, what is going to happen with this? Okay, if this is set to yes, the volume is going to delete automatically. If this set it to yes, the volume along with our EC2 instance, it will delete. But if you set it to no, your instance is terminated, but your volume still available after your instance deletion also. What we can do with it? You can attach it to another server. Fine, you deleted your instance. Okay, so the volume still available as we set it this to no. But what we can do with it? We can attach to another instance if you really have any such type of requirements. So for root volume, we always go with the yes. So now that is 8 gigs. I launch with the default option now. Just click on launch instance. Okay, now instance provisioned. It is in pending state. Once it is in running state, we are going to get connected to it. If you are not able to get connected to the instance, verify your security group. First thing. Second thing, verify your key pair. Okay. If you don't find issues with both, use alternative option. There is some issue with your configuration or the process you are using, use alternative option. So the final option is click on connect, EC2 instance connect, use this browser method and connect to it. I'm grabbing instance public IP address, opening terminal, navigating to desktop key pairs folder, SSH-I, my Linux KP, EC2-user, given the public IP address, type yes. Now I got connected to this instance. I want to switch to root user, sudo space, su. I want to confirm whether I'm really working as a root user. Who am I? Where exactly I am? PWD. I want to see, do I have any files here? ls. Any hidden files? ls-a. Clearing the screen. All right. So now I have logged in and it have only root volume. So at OS level, I want to confirm it. At operating system level, I want to see how many volumes actually associated or available here. So for that, we have a command called lsblk, list block-based devices. lsblk. If you gave this lsblk command, you see here, there is a volume called xpda. The volume name, you see here, name of this volume is xpda. Where this volume is going to store, there is a location called dev. Under dev, with the name called xpda, this 8 GB volume created. Okay, clear with this? If you want to see name of an existing volume, use a command called lsblk. First command. Okay, fine. But I want to see what file system we have. What are the detected by operating system? So for that, we can use a command called df space -th. Okay, so you can simply give df also. If I gave df, what it is showing? It is showing all the available volumes. You see here, dev xpda. But these values are in some bits. It's a bit difficult to read, right? So you need to take a calculator and you need to do the calculation by 8, then finally you will get. Okay. So, and also it is not showing what type of file system it is running with. So basically, we have a concept called file system. Have you ever observed, like, whenever you're installing operating system, it will ask you what file system you want to, or else you do one thing. In your laptop, you have C drive, D drive, right? go to any of the drive property. Give a right click, last option properties, right? Click on that property. It will show an option called file system. Okay, what it will show generally there? It will show, if you are using Windows operating system, it will show FAT or NTFS or ReFS. So these are the file systems we have. So file system act as a communicator or interface between user to your storage device. You have hard disk, 1 TB hard disk. You're trying to write some data, but who is responsible for writing the data, arranging the data? So there is a file system in between. So in Windows operating system, we have some file system like a FAT16 or FAT32. FAT16 is outdated. FAT file system itself is outdated. FAT32, NTFS, and recently Microsoft introduced ReFS. FAT means not the fat you are thinking. Okay, file allocation table. File allocation table. NTFS means new technology file system. New technology file system. ReFS means resilient file system. Okay. So these available with Windows operating system. Okay, but these aren't supported by Linux. In Linux also we have file systems. In Linux also we have some file systems. In Linux we have ext3, ext4, XFS, okay, NFS. These are some Linux-based file systems. So here in Windows, NTFS is most commonly used one. Okay, this is most used one. And when coming to Linux operating system, this XFS is most used one. XFS is a most used one. Now, my point is, I want to see, okay, I have given df command. It is showing the volumes. Fine. But I want to view size of that volume in human readable format and what type of file system it is contains. So for that, you can give a command called df space -capital T H. Capital T is mandatory. It should be in capital. If you are giving in small, it won't accept. So it will tell type of file system and the values are in human readable. H means existing one, it's a machine readable one. This one technically treated as a machine readable one. I'm giving df space -H. You see here, earlier it is 8376300. Now it is showing 1.6 gigs is used. 6.5 gigs is available one. 8.0 gigs is the total size. So you're able to read it now, right? But it's not showing type also. So you can give df space -capital TH. You see here, now it is showing an additional property called type. So you see here, these all tempfs means temporary file systems. It's a temporary file systems. So that system, operating system will create and it will use. You don't need to worry about that. Okay. So that's a default behavior. And here you see, we have XFS. So this is important for us. So the existing volume, you see, it is under dev. So you need this name also. So you can use lsblk. Okay. So it will show all available volumes, all associated volumes, whether it is detected by OS or not, everything will show with lsblk command. If you are giving ds space -capital TH, shows OS detected volumes and grab the name. So what is the name of existing volume? Class dev xpda. See here, class dev xpda 1 or XPDA, technically both same. Okay. So this is all about existing volumes. Now I'm going to create a new volume manually. I'll try to associate that to my EC2 instance and I'll make it available at OS level. Okay. So for that, first, okay, navigate to EC2 dashboard. Here we have an option called volumes. Go to volumes, create a volume. Click on create volume. Again, you see here, defaultly it is picking 100 GB. You really want to practice with 100 GB? Don't. Just go with the 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB. That is the maximum I want you to. Okay. So go with the 1 GB volume. And I'm creating this in AP South 1B. And remaining options, I'm going with the default. I'm going to add a name. I'm calling it as a additional volume. Then click on create volume. Now, a volume created here. But is it associated to our instance? Not yet. You see volume state? It's in available state. This 8 GB one is in use. Now I'm selecting that available one, navigating to actions, attach volume. And click here. It is saying there is no running or stopped instances in AP South 1B. I have an EC2 instance, right? But that EC2 instance is in AP South 1A. Where this EC2 instance is? It is in AP South 1A. My additional volume, I have created it in wantedly in AP South 1B. Why? Because your volume and your EC2 instance should be in same availability zone. Otherwise, you cannot mount it. Otherwise, you cannot attach it. Okay. So that's the reason I created this 1 GB volume successfully, but it is in different availability zone than my EC2 instance. So it is not allowing me to attach. So it is useless now. So I'm deleting it. I'm going to create a new one now. While you are creating, make sure you create new volume same as your EC2 instance availability zone. Then only you can attach. Okay. Click on create volume. I'm creating 1 GB and I'm creating it in AP South 1A and I'm going to give it name. Additional volume is a name I'm giving. Then create volume. All right. New volume is now creating. Okay. It's in available state. Go to actions, attach volume and click on these instances. Now you see here, it is displaying that available instance. Pick that, then scroll down, then click on attach volume. Before attaching this, just observe here. If I am giving LSBLK, how many volumes it is showing? Only one. This is about same. You see here, there is a line here. So this XPDA 1 is representing XPDA only. Okay. So we have only one that is mounted to root. In Linux operating system, everything starts from slash. Okay. So that is a root volume that contains operating system. Now I'm going to attach it. Then click on attach volume. Now the volume state is changed to in use status. Now I'm running this LSBLK again. You see here, we got a new one. We got a new one. What is the name of that new volume? XPDF. So whenever you attach, create a new volume. Okay. Make sure volume is in same AZ of our EC2 instance. Otherwise, we cannot mount it. Okay. Create a new volume and attach to instance. After performing this, after attaching this, so now navigate to instance and run a command called lsblk and grab the new volume name. This is important. So now our new volume name is /dev xvdf. xvdf is our new volume name. Okay, fine. LSBLK is detecting this new volume. If I gave df space hyphen capital TH, is it detecting? Now, see, there is a difference between LSBLK and df space hyphen TH. This shows all the associated volumes. Whether it is available, whether it have file system or not, doesn't matter. If you associate to your instance, it will display. But this LSBLK will show only usable volume. You created and attached a new 1 GB volume, but it is not ready to use. It is not ready to use. To make it usable, first step is you need to write a file system. But before that, I want to verify new volume has any file system. For that, there is a command called file space -s. So then give volume name. Okay, so now I'm giving it file space -s /dev xvdf. It is saying data. If output is just data, no file system. If output is just data, there is no file system. Okay, let's see what this XPDA is showing. XPDA is showing, you see here, it is showing some information regarding that existing file system, that is a XFS. So, but when coming to this XPDF, it's just showing data. That means no file system. If output is class data, okay, that means we don't have any file system. So you can even do one thing, XPDF1. Okay, you see here it is showing XFS file system. Okay, it is saying XFS file system. Even if you gave XPDF1, it won't show anything. XPDF1, no such file or directory. If you gave only XPDF, it is saying only data. So if it is returning with just data, so that means we don't have any file system. As a first step, write a file system to the new volume. Okay, so then what is the command to write a file system? mkfs, make file system. mkfs space -t. What type of file system? We have multiple options. What type of file system you want to write? I want to go with the XFS file system. Okay, fine. But to what volume you want to write file system? /dev xvdf. So this command will write XFS file system to new 1 GB volume. Okay. So now go to the instance. Again, I am showing file -s dev xpdf. It is showing as a data. mkfs space -t. XFS is a file system /dev xpdf. Okay, now click on enter. File system is written. How we can confirm? Run that command again. File command. You see here, earlier when I run, it is showing only data, but now it is showing XFS file system. So we got a file system, right? Okay, we got a file system. Now can we start using it? Fine, but how? Where it is available? Again, if I gave df space hyphen capital th, it's still not showing here. If it need to detected by your operating system, or if you want to use it, you need to mount it. Mounted on. So in Linux operating system, you need to mount it to a directory. In Windows operating system, you mount it to a drive letter, C drive, D drive, F drive. So you have drive letters concept in Windows. But here we don't have any drive letter concept. So you need to create a directory or folder, mount it to that folder. So for that, what you need to do? The command is very simple. First, create a directory. What is the command to create a directory? mkdir, give name. You can give any name. Okay, I'm calling it as a volume 1. Okay, I'm calling it as a volume 1. Click on enter. Is it created? Created successfully. You see this? It's created successfully. Okay, now I want to mount it. The command is mount, then space, which volume? Okay, you want to dev xvdf, give space. Where do you want to mount? I have a folder called volume. I want to mount it. Okay, before running this mount command, if I gave df space hyphen capital th, there is no volume. If I gave lsblk, there is no mount point. You see here. Now I'm going to mount it. Mount dev xpdf. I want to mount it to volume 1. Click on enter. Now, if I gave lsblk, you see here, dev xpdf is now mounted to home ec2-user. There is a directory called volume 1. It is mounted here. Okay. Now, if you give df space hyphen capital th also, the last option, dev xpdf. Earlier we don't have. You observe here. This is the last one. This is a last entry here. But now if you observe, dev xpdf is now mounted to home ec2-user volume 1. So technically, if you go inside this folder, whatever files you create, whatever data you create, that actually creates under this 1 GB volume. This is 1 GB volume, right? The data is going to store here in this 1 GB volume. Okay? So this is how exactly you can create a volume, attach it to our EC2 instance. So then we can make it available. Okay.
Avinash, one doubt.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, as you said that as per AWS standards, so as how much we use, that much we need to pay, like prorated, right? So
one second. Chepandi.
Yeah.
We'll announce chestara. Okay. Yeah, Rammanandi. Just 2 minutes, guys. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, can I answer?
Yes, please. Go ahead with your question.
As per AWS standards, as you say that how much we use, that much we need to pay, like it's like pro-rate basis, something like that. So in this case, why we need to add explicitly the volume here? It's like automatic, right? How much you use usage, it will be increase or decrease.
Okay, so yeah, basically here the question is, okay, so generally in AWS, everything works as like, pay as you go mechanism, and it scales automatically. When coming to databases and all, there is an option called storage auto scaling. If you enable that option, what happens? So you need to pre-provisioning is required for the servers. Why? Because this is like, file system based one. So whatever volume you're creating, it needs a file system. If it is a S3, it doesn't require any file system. So you have unlimited storage. But here, this is explicitly available for our EC2 instance. That too, only one EC2 instance. And that too, selecting a file system and all is in our hand. For example, I went with XFS file system, but I changed my mind. I want to go with the ext3 file system. So I can go and create a ext3 file system. So as we have such type of options available with us, AWS don't go with the storage auto scaling for our servers. Generally in organization, whenever any volume is full, okay, so then what happened? We are going to get a notification. So we need to take an action on that. So on what parameters we are going to increase the storage, right? So either client need to decide that. That's the first thing. If client is not deciding anything, so then we are going to pick 10% of an existing storage or 5 GB. Whichever is higher, we are going to pick that. 5 GB or 10% of an existing volume. Whichever is higher, we will pick and we will add that here. Okay, just 2 minutes, guys. There is a announcement in classroom. Yeah, please.
Hi guys, my name is Mukti. Guys, online, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, so guys, I'm going to explain you the process about NASCOM, what is the registration process and what you get out of it quickly for the next 15-20 minutes. And I want you to make use of it. I hope you guys know you are attending a NASCOM affiliated batch. No? See, the course curriculum which you are being trained on by Anesh sir is actually approved by NASCOM. And you will get a course completion certificate from NASCOM and you get a skill certificate from NASCOM. Apart from that, you will also get a GOI incentive once you clear the exam. Okay. So 50% of the course fees you have paid would be reimbursed back to your bank account. You understand? Any problem with that? You don't want it? What? Volume. Okay. You are wearing such a confusing face, man. You only. Okay. So because it's both on. The faculties are trained to speak louder, not me. Okay. So just a minute. But I'll download a couple of files. So I'll forward it to you on this. Okay. I should have some rules. Okay. So, guys, it's visible, right? Okay. Now, my name is Murthy. Okay. Hey, please concentrate. I can't speak louder than this. Okay. So, my name is Murthy. I had this NASCOM project for Naresh Technologies. Okay. So, now being a part of NASCOM has a few advantages. I want to explain you that. And I will show you the registration process. When is this batch completing, sir? 1 month. Okay. See, the next week, your assessment will also open. I'll inform your faculty. After that, we'll discuss about how to complete the process. Like I said, okay. You are using Zoom, sir? I think I have to share the screen. It's already, oh, entire screen is shared. Okay. Great. So, see, the advantages of registering in FS Prime. The first one is a skill certificate. Okay. So, you get a skill certificate with the brand of, NASCOM and Ministry of IT and Electronics, MIT, Government of India. Okay. So, if you can understand, right, when you have NASCOM, right? The governing body of all the IT companies and any policies with respect to IT in India will be framed or will be guided by NASCOM, and that only will be implemented by the government of India. Okay. So now the objective is very simple. Why the government has come up with such a thing? If you know it or not, by 2025, around 25 lakh resources of our country are going to become obsolete. Means they started their careers, with some technologies and still continuing in the same, but they are no longer in the market. It might be surprising to you, but there are few people still working on ASP. You know it or not? It's way back in 2004. Okay, so those are legacy skills, and they are done. Now the problem for them is once the projects are completely shut down or wound down, what happens is they face a problem of not being employable anymore. Okay, and I'm not talking about 0 to 4 years experience people. I'm talking about 12 plus, 15 plus guys. You can understand how many people would be dependent on them and how much social unrest it would create. So to avoid all those things, NASCOM went to government and they explained this is the scenario, and the government said, okay, you create a program, we'll reimburse, we'll try to push it somehow into the industry and help all the people who want upskilling. Okay, so this project is an upskilling project. So for that, NASCOM came to implementing partners like us. Okay, we were onboarded into this NASCOM project by PwC. I hope you guys know PwC, right? So they were the governing people. Initially, they took all the presentations. We were able to convince them that our curriculum is the best in the industry, and that's how everything started. Now, the first advantage you get is a skill certificate. I don't know how many of you have heard about it, but government is coming with something called skill passport. Do you know that? Just like our travel passport, skill passport will have all the details about our skills. So whatever certifications you gain through us will be automatically added to your skill passport. In the next 2 years, they're going to make it mainstream. The objective of the government is very simple: make digital, everything digital. I know, people will Photoshop their documents and all. So all those things will be gone then. Skill passport will have all our academic details, all our skill details. Even if you take certifications from Amazon, they'll find a way to put it there. Okay, so that's the first thing. I can show you how the skill passport would look like also. I think, yes. This is how the skill passport would look like. Okay, so this is a bronze one. I'll explain you this also. So this QR code will automatically take you there. So even if you give it to your friend and they Photoshop, it doesn't work. So above 50% is the pass percentage. 50 to 60, you get a bronze certificate. 60 to 70, you get silver. 70 plus, you get a gold certificate. Okay, this is how the skill certificate would look like, and the NOSLs and all. NOSLs are National Occupational Standards designed by NSDC. So all these things would be understood by your employer. Okay, even Amazon is a part of this program. There is a program from Amazon on AWS Solutions Architect, like whatever you are doing, and we are having better rating than them when it comes to the students and all that stuff. Okay, so you can understand the authenticity of the program. So this is how it will be. And next, I'll take you back. So the OpenOffice, you use OpenOffice on it. So what is this? My screen. Even I use this. It opened in something else, I think. Huh? Oh, OpenOffice. Okay. Okay. The second advantage, like I said, would be. Oh, that's too much. Okay. So can I remove this part? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Second one I said, is about the government of India incentive. I don't know how much you guys have paid, but 50% of it would be reimbursed back to you. The maximum limit is 8,000 for a deep skilling course like this. I don't think you paid more than 16,000. So whatever you paid, 50% of it would be reimbursed. And the assessment fees you pay to NASSCOM is 600 rupees. That also would be reimbursed to you. And the third is you even get a course participation certificate. That means if you fail getting a skill certificate, you get a course participation certificate. Okay. That means if you don't clear the main assessment, you'll get this. Okay. In this, you'll have the logo of NASSCOM and Naresh Technologies also. But in the skill certificate, Naresh Technologies logo would not be there because it is an authentic one given by the government and NASSCOM. Okay. And it should be accepted anywhere in the world. But one thing we can say for sure is it would be accepted anywhere in the country for sure. Okay, because it is given by the topmost. Is there anyone beyond government of India in India? Not it. So when you have that logo and NASSCOM logo, it should be accepted anywhere in the country for sure. That's the second advantage. Now I'll take you through the step-by-step process, guys, very quickly. So the first thing is you have to take admission. Of course, you have already taken in this NASSCOM batch. The second is we will share your details with NASSCOM. Whatever email ID you have given us, whatever first name, last name you have given, we'll be sharing that with NASSCOM. That means we'll be registering you with NASSCOM. After that, you will do the registration. Okay. I'll show you how the registration process would look like. Okay. See. So this is how the certificate would look like, guys. This is a gold, silver, and bronze. I have shown you already. And this is how the participation certificate would look like. This is where Naresh Shetty logo would be there. Okay. Now, okay. See, you have to go to futureskillsprime.in. This is the registration link. Online guys are also following, right? Hopefully. So once you click or go to that site, this is how the page would look like. If you are using an Apple MacBook, you can go for Apple login. Otherwise, you go for login using your credentials. You click on this. Okay. It will open up. So this is the first name, last name, your calling name and your surname and the email ID. Please, guys, use the email you have given us. If you use a different email, you will not be tagged to us and you will not get any benefit. Okay. If you've lost access to the email you have given us, please update us. I'll tell you how to inform us. I'll give you my email ID and then our email ID, the team email ID. And then only I'll be able to help you out. Okay. Please, once again, use the same email ID you have given us. And you give a passport, not your Gmail passport, any passport you would want. Click on this and you'll just say create account. Once you say create account, your name would come here and then you'll receive a verification email. This is how the verification email will look like. Now, most of our students are getting the verification email in their spam folder. Kindly check your spam folder also if you don't find it in inbox. So if once you click on confirm your email account, okay, it will take you back to the Future Skills Prime website. Here you'll give your first name, last name, email. It will already be populated. If you want to edit, edit. But guys, this is the name you get on your certificate. Later, no edits. Okay. Please give your proper name, how you want the certificate to look like. And this it'll ask you for your basic personal details. After that, it'll ask you if your occupation, you can give whatever it is. And then it'll ask you for your interest. You can talk about, if you're interested in data science, whatever it is, you can click on multiple times. And that's the registration process completed. Okay. Now, if you look at, this is the home page you are going to get. Anytime you log in into it, this is the home page. Now, if you look at it, there is one more register here. You can see on the top, it's a little small. Please see this. This register, this registration is about Government of India incentive. At this point of time, please do not register there and give any self-declaration. It will ask for a self-declaration. Guys, this Government of India reimbursement is only for people who are already working or who have an offer. I don't know how many of you already have an offer because you will have to upload your offer letters, your pay slips and all that stuff. Do you have them already? No. So once you complete the exam, we will help you get a small internship for 1-2 months later. An internship letter only to get this reimbursement for you. Okay. So after you complete the assessment, we will help you do this registration. At this point, do not register because once you register saying that I am unemployed and you give a self-declaration, when you yourself say, I don't want anything, why will you get it? Okay. And I'm giving you a standard disclaimer again. Naresh Technologies is only trying to facilitate getting that money for you. We are not responsible, because if you enter a wrong Aadhaar card number or if you give your friend's account number, you will not get it, because there is a third party agency which verifies your details. And if they find something is missing, they'll just close it up. Got it? We are trying to help you, but we cannot assure you. If you don't enter the details properly, it will not come. Okay, once again. So, next. So after registration, once you are completing the course, what I will do is at least two weeks before you complete the course, I will register that you are completing the course. Okay. Only then you will be able to take the assessment, because unless and until I say you are done, you are not done. I mean, you cannot avail anything from NASSCOM. Okay. Now, how the main assessment will look like, I'll take you there. See. Now, this is your home page, right? If you click on the search bar, you can see the search bar here. You just key in Naresh IT. Okay. You will find a tile like this. Okay. For example, this is Python course. Your tile would be active in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Your assessment is not yet ready. Recently, you have approved the mock assessment. So now they are going to give the assessment next week, most probably. So you will not find this immediately. Okay. But generally, there will be 2 tiles, man, for AWS and GOA incentive for AWS. Okay. You will have to click on the GOA incentive. Eligible for incentive. You can see there, right? Eligible for incentive. Okay. This is how it would be. I will take you through Python course because it is already open. But later, AWS will open next week for you. Okay. So once you click on that, this is how it would be. There will be 4 tiles. Okay. The first tile is the overview, course overview and assessment overview. The second is the course details. Third is the mock assessment. And fourth is the main assessment. You can see these 4. Okay. Now, you have to get a 4 green ticks in all the 4 tiles here. You can see a small green tick here. You can see this? Yes. So you have to get all these green ticks, only then this main assessment will open. So the first one is course overview. You just click on this here. It will take you to this screen. You read through the process. It will just tell you about the course, how to take the assessment, a brief theoretical thing. And you just click on mark as complete. In the bottom, you can see this mark as complete. Once you click on that, it will show completed and the green tick would come. In the second tile, you will get a green tick only when Naresh Technologies uploads your data that they have completed the course with us. Okay. So the second one is on me. The third is mock assessment. You have to take the mock assessment. You click on the mock assessment. It will take you to the payment page. See, mock assessment is free, but it will take you through the entire process so that when you take the main assessment, you will not be confused. Okay. I'll take you through the screens. If you click on the mock assessment, this is where it will take you. This is the payment gateway. Proceed with order. As you can see, it is 0 rupees. You click on proceed. Here it will ask you for your billing address. You click on proceed. It will ask you add payment. Nothing you need to add. You just need to click it there so that you'll understand the process. Okay. After that, it will ask you, okay, the order is generated. You can see the order number. And then you'll click on go to my content. It will take you my content. Here there is a start assessment button. Okay. You can click on start assessment. It will take you to a third party website. And you need a system with webcam and mic. And also you need a physical copy of your Aadhaar card or PAN card or driving license. Because first it will capture your image. After that, it will ask you to show your ID card. It will capture that image and then only it will begin. So a couple of things here. You can take the mock assessment only once. Typically, mock assessment will be for half an hour to 40 minutes and 10 to 15 questions. Okay. Whether you pass the exam or you fail the exam doesn't matter. For the main one, it doesn't matter, but it is only for your practice purpose. So I would suggest you take it seriously because the similar type of questions are coming in the main assessment. You have seen, right, sir? So this is how it is. Okay. You understand, right? Once you complete the mock assessment, okay, you'll get this thank you screen. After that, you can see all the 3 green ticks at the bottom. And only then the main assessment will open for you. Okay. So once you click on the main assessment, it will take you through the same things, but this time you'll have to make payment for 600 rupees. You can make a payment through credit card, debit card, or even UPI also. Okay. QR code will come. You can pay from Google Pay or whatever it is. So this is the process, guys. Once you complete all of this, you will get an email. After you complete the test, you will get an email that successfully you have completed, or better like next time you'll get it. And then once you complete the exam, the next day you can download your certificate also from the site. After you complete that, see, before you take the test, my team will communicate with you. I'll take you there. Like I said, see, mock assessment you are done. You completed the main assessment, and then we will help you register for the 50% GOI incentive part. Okay. The plan is we have spoken to a few of our companies who are friend companies. Okay. And we said this is the GOI incentive my students would get if you give them a small internship letter for 1 month, 2 months. So what they said is, okay, we'll conduct a small assessment and then we'll give you a naam ke vaste assessment, to be frank. So our plan is we want you to utilize what the government is giving. Okay. If any one of you says, I have enough money, I don't want it, very good, take the money and give it to me. Okay. No, don't take the money. I don't care. But whoever wants, talk to us, we'll help you out. Okay. Now, important details again, Future Skills Prime registration, you should do it. Can you do it by tomorrow? Because if you're completing it towards this month end, I'm going to upload your data next week only. Once I upload your data that it is completed, you cannot register anymore. Before I upload your data that this batch is completing, you have to do it. Okay. Can you register yourself? It takes 2 minutes now. For tech-savvy people, hardly takes 2 minutes. Otherwise, it takes maximum 5 minutes, not beyond that. The registration process. Okay, not the mock assessment and all that, just the registration. Complete the registration at any cost by tomorrow, end of the day. On Sunday or Monday, I'm going to upload your data. Okay, because only then the main assessment would be open and I'll share the details. Okay, next. What I'm doing is we are giving the entire assessment details to the faculty, and the faculty will discuss with you how the assessment is, how to prepare for it, which type of questions are being asked. As I see, sir, AWS, you said they're easy, right? The questions. Okay. So this is done. Now, these are the contact details, guys. See, I want you guys to send us an email if your email ID is changing. Okay. Please don't send an email that, hi, my new email ID is. No. Please send your name, your batch, Avinash sir, 9 a.m., AWS. Because see, there are thousands of students, man. We need to be able to spot you right where you are. And then what is your old email ID and new email ID? Then I will see, this is a big laborious process, believe me. I have to send an email to Edcast and NASSCOM. Edcast is a technical partner and we have to follow up with them. It takes around 48 working hours for them to change your email ID. Okay. Please, if you have access, use the same email you have given us. Someone has to mute, man. Don't shout. Okay. Next. This is the email ID which you can send us for any of your queries, any problems, issues you're facing. Okay. I would always suggest, send an email, not call. Because call, someone would answer and they will not give you the proper information. But email will be tracking everything. Okay. So this is the dedicated number for this NASSCOM purpose only. Don't call us and ask when the next batch is starting. We don't have any clue. Okay. This number is only for NASSCOM related queries. If you don't know how to register, if you're facing some of you might face a problem. After the second step, it would stop. You take a screenshot, you send us an email and you call us, we'll take care of it. Got it? You don't need call. If you send an email, we'll call you. Provided in your signature, you mention your mobile number. Okay? That's it. So this is the team. Someone from these 4 ladies would be calling you next week or the next. Once, Avinash sir says you are ready for the assessment. Okay. The team are, Vandana, Akila, Anusha, and Vanita. Someone would call you. They'll try to help you. If you have any issues, okay, Ravi will come into picture. He's the manager there. If none of them are able to solve the problem, it will come to me. My name is Murthy. I'll get in touch with you. Very good. If even I am not able to solve your problem, I'll connect you to NASSCOM team. Understand? That's the entire process. I hope I'm clear to you guys. Okay, I didn't want to take much of your time. That's why I was rushing through. But you understood the process, right? So kindly register yourself by tomorrow. Okay. I know most of you would be planning to take an AWS certification. Guys, this is just $600 and you get your money back. Whatever you want to use it, use it. Okay. So this certificate should at least add a little value to your resume. Okay. And once skill passport comes, this is going to help you a lot. Okay. I hope any questions for me? Anyone? Online, offline? No? Okay. So once your main assessment is ready, I'll pass on the information to Avinash sir and he'll inform you. Okay. Hopefully, 3rd week of November, you should be able to take the test. Because hook or crook, next week I'll get the assessment ready from NASSCOM. And one of our people will take the test and we'll give you the details. Sir will explain you how the questions are. See, the test is completely online. You can take it from anywhere and all that stuff. But again, I know I shouldn't be saying this. The camera captures images. Okay. So multiple people sitting before the system is useless. The test automatically closes. Okay. I know you are very smart. Out the other side, nobody can do anything. Okay. I know you do. Sir, please save these files in a folder for next batch also I'll be able to use it. Okay. So thank you for your time, guys. Thank you. I'll close it.
All right. To summarize, like what exactly Murthy explained. So it's a government of India program. Okay. So basically, they will help you to. They want us to upgrade our skills. So for that, like Naresh IT is partnered with Government of India, and if you complete that assessment, you will get half of your course fees back. Yeah, but it's a government process. It may take some time. Okay, but however, you are going to get half of your fees back, and you are going to get a certificate. You can add that to your resume. That definitely added some weightage. Certifications won't give you jobs, but they will definitely add some weightage to your profiles. So for that weightage, I will recommend you to. It's just a matter of 600 rupees. Even if you fail also, you will get a course completion certificate. In your resume, bottom, like, before your personal details, you can write achievements. Okay, I did this, I did that. Okay, I helped blind people to cross the roads and all. Right? Instead of writing those, so you can write like, some technical things like, okay, I participated in this, I completed course with like, NASCAM evaluated my skills and all. So that will looks better, right? So it's just a matter of 600 rupees. And when coming to the questions and all, I'll make you ready for that. Don't worry about the questions and all, how the process. You practice same. Whatever task I'm giving, you practice that. Why? Because this course is not mean to clear that exam. This course is for industry ready one. What are the tasks you get? What are the activities you get in real time, right? So our main focus is on that, not on the exam. Exam is to help, like, for example, you're spending some time, you're paying 12,000 rupees, right? If you get 6,000 back, that definitely helps you. Okay. So, yeah, that process and all. So, you know that website URL, right? So just take this URL, Future Prime, something is there. This one. So this is the one, learn.futureskillsprime.in. Just register. That is, no, I'm not talking about entire URL. So this one. All right, I'll post this in our Slack as well as GitHub. So I'm sharing that URL in Slack. That is the first thing. And second thing, whatever the document I'm preparing for today, that document also have this URL. So just spare some time and just register. Okay. Right. Let's come back. So we have created a volume. We have, like, the important thing is your volume and your EC2 instance both should be in same availability zone. You attach that volume to your EC2 instance, and by giving this lsblk command, grab your new volume name. Okay. If you have any doubt whether it have any file system or not, run this command. So then write a file system. So then mount it. Mount class dev /xvdf. So then I have mounted to volume 1. So this command, mounting xpdf, that 1 GB volume, to a directory named volume 1. All right. So this is a process to make it available. But there is a problem. Now, if I reboot, what happened? This volume deal will disappear again. Now, let's see. Okay, I'm clearing the screen. If I gave ls, I have volume 1. I want to go inside that volume 1. What is the command? cd. cd, go to volume 1. Whatever files you are creating, touch a.txt, touch b.txt, or like, you create anything. All right, I'm creating something like, test, I'm piping it to c.txt. All right, 3 files created. Now, the problem is, if we reboot this EC2 instance, this volume won't be available again. Again, do you need to follow all the steps? Do you need to create a file system? Do you need to mount it? Not really required. Only final step is required. This is the final step. So if you don't want to do this activity, after every single reboot, you need to do one thing. So whatever mount we performed, okay, this is a temporary mount. It lasts till instance reboot. After reboot, it won't be available. If you want to make it permanent mount, add an entry in a file named etc fstab. There is a file called fstab under the location called etc. So you need to add an entry. What entry we need to add? Again, that entry is like, a very big line. Okay, so what we can do is grab the entry information from a file called etc mtab. There is a file called etc mtab. Okay, so whenever you do this mount, automatically it will update that mtab file. So grab that entry, write that entry in etc fstab file. So now what happened? After reboot also, the volume will be available. If you reboot 10 times, 20 times, it's still available. Okay, so I'll show you that now. Okay, but before that, for testing purpose, what we will do, we'll reboot this instance. Okay, so there is a command. If you want to reboot, what is the command? Init 6. Init 0 means shutdown. Init 6 means reboot. Okay, so we have initiated that from OS level. So you know this thing, right? Select the instance, monitoring and troubleshoot, get instance screenshot. It's loading. So it's not available. That means it's rebooting. All right. So now it should be ready by this time. I'm getting connected to my EC2 instance. Sudo space sq, clearing the screen. If I gave lsblk, it's available, but mount point is gone. As I did a reboot, volume is available, but mount point is gone. If I gave ls, volume 1 is there. Let's go inside that volume 1. If I give ls, no file available. The problem is, whatever mount we perform, that's a temporary mount. Now, if I gave cd space ... okay, now what I need to do? Okay, let's verify whether we have some file system inside that. File -yes, dev xpdf, and it is saying there is a file system. If file system already available, do you really need to write file system again? Not really required. So only mount. mount dev xpdf. I'm mounting it to volume 1. Now go inside volume 1. If you gave ls, you can see the files. Okay. Earlier, you see here, when I went to this volume, when I gave ls, it showed nothing. Why? Because that volume is not mounted. But now it is mounted and we can see all the data is available here. All right. So instead of doing this mount command, running this mount command after every single reboot, as I told you, first get the entry information from mtab. Okay. So I want to open or I want to read information from that etc mtab file. So what is the command? Cat etc mtab. You can call it as a etc or etc. Okay. So then click on enter. You see the last line is related to this volume 1. Grab this entire line. Okay. Just copy that entire line. I'm pasting somewhere here temporarily. All right. Okay. So this line, same as it is, do not modify anything. Just take this line and write it to a file called etc fstab. Okay. My suggestion, always work as a root user. So now vim etc fstab. I want to write information, right? So I'm using VM editor to go inside. Do not touch existing line. If you are touching existing line, that means you are messing up your root volume setting. Your instance won't reboot. If you want, you can give a try. Just delete that entry and try to reboot your machine. It won't. Okay. So do not touch that line. Whatever the entry you have copied, paste that here. Okay. Then press escape, :WQ. Now, after reboot also, what happened? This entry will be read and that this xpdf is going to mount to this path automatically. So manually, you don't need to do anything. Okay. So it will happen automatically. So that is a step you need to perform to make it permanent mount. Clear with this? Okay. So I'll tell you one thing. If you are into a small or mid-range company, you might need to do OS level activities also, such type of things. But if you are into a big company, they never allow you to touch any OS level activities. We are going to deal with AWS level. For example, if you get a request, okay, create a volume. So your job is done once you create a volume, once you attach. So then if it is a Windows machine, you will inform the Wintel team. If it is a Linux machine, you will inform the Linux or Unix team. They will do these activities. It's not your job. But if it is small organization and all, yes, you might need to take care about such type of activities also. That's the reason we are discussing here. Okay? Yeah. So now, you might get a question. Hey, Avinash, you have taken 1 GB volume. And can we increase this 1 GB to 2 GB? Of course, we can increase. Decrease is not possible in AWS. For example, you already created 1 GB volume, right? I changed my mind and I want to make it as I want to make it as only 512 MB. So you have an option called modify volume. You click on modify, and if you are trying to change this 0.5, you see here, size of a volume can only be increased, not decreased. Only can increase, not decreased. So if you want to make it 2 GB and all, yes, you can do that. But decreasing is not possible. That is a standard behavior. That's the reason I told you. Whenever we want to increase the size, either we need to take that value from client or 5%, 10% of an existing volume size or 5 GB, whichever is higher. For example, in this scenario, this volume size is 2 GB. Now, out of this 2 GB to almost 1.8 GB is full. You need to add some additional storage. Okay. Now, 10% of this 2 GB, is one option, like a 200 MB or 400 MB. Okay. And another option is 5 GB. Whichever is higher, 5 GB is higher. So you can add 5 more GB for this. This is the mechanism we follow in current project. It varies from organization to organization. Most of the time, client only will tell you, okay, I need this server. This is what the size I required. Okay. So now I'm making it as a 2 GB. Fine. I made it as a 2 GB, but will it increase automatically in OS level? Okay, let's verify. Now I made it as a 2 GB. It's in use, optimizing. So let's go to terminal. I'm giving LSBLK. Okay, it's showing 2 GB. It's showing 2 GB. Fine. And if you give df space hyphen capital TH, it's still showing 1 GB only. That additional 1 GB is not detected by your operating system. It's not usable yet. Okay. So for that, what we need to do, we need to execute another command called xfs growfs. xfs growfs is a command. Okay. Use this command xfs growfs. Okay. What is that? xfs growfs -d. So which one? Mount point is /home EC2 -user volume 1. Increase it. So now you see here the size is changed. If you gave now df space capital TH, it is 2 GB now. So this command xfs _ growfs, which volume you want to increase the size, you gave that volume mount point and it will increase. Okay. So that is how you can increase the volume of an existing, you can increase existing volume size. All right. So I'll write down that also here. Decreasing volume size is not possible. All right. First, increase the volume size in AWS console. Then at OS level, run a command xfs _ growfs -d. You give mount point. In our case, mount point is /dev/xpdf. Again, I got xpdf. There is no guarantee you also going to get xpdf, xpdb, xpdc. So it may change. For example, if I add one more volume, is it going to pick same name? No, right? So that we can run LSBLK and we can get that. All right. So yeah, that is for today. We are running out of time. So here is the task, guys. Launch an EC2 instance, create 1 GB volume, associate with your EC2 instance, make that 1 GB available to OS level and write some data and reboot and verify whether that is available or not. I want you to make it as a permanent mount. So then increase the volume size from 1 GB to 2 GB and verify by running that growfs and all and make it 2 GB. Then verify it by using df space capital TH. Now, along with those two, another task. Launch another EC2 instance. Launch another EC2 instance in same availability zone. So my existing EC2 instance is in AP South 1A, right? What I am asking you to do is launch instance. I am calling it as another instance. Select same operating system, but here under network settings, edit, select AP South 1A only. Here you can see availability zone. Select AP South 1A. Then launch this instance. So now your instance 1 and instance 2 both are in AP South 1A. What I want you to do is whatever the volume you have here, detach from server 1, attach it to server 2 and make it available. Mount it to a folder, verify whatever data you have. So diagrammatically, so this is our first server. This is in AP South 1A. Okay. So it have a root volume, along with that create 1 GB volume. Now launch another EC2 instance and make sure you also select this as a AP South 1A only. Okay. So now detach this and attach it here. Before detaching, you create some files here. You create some files. Now detach this volume and attach. The same volume is now not with this server, it is with this server. And log into this EC2 instance and verify whatever the files you have here, these files, it should available here also. Okay. So this is what the task is. Can you do it? All right. So yeah, any questions before closing today's session? So here step-by-step processes, guys. So this is what I wrote today and yesterday. All right. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. I'm uploading this to our GitHub, and make sure you terminate the instances. And also one more thing, the additional 1 GB volume won't delete automatically. You manually created, right? After launching instance, you manually need to delete it. Okay. So I uploaded the document here to our GitHub, terminated the instance, root volume should delete automatically, and additional volume I'm deleting manually. And before signing out, go to EC2 dashboard and give a refresh. So no volumes, no snapshots, no running instances, no elastic IP addresses. I'm good. So I can sign out. All right. So yeah, that's it for today's session. Next session will be on Monday. Okay, why? Because we just done Linux part, right? You spare some time and practice. Okay, so then from Monday onwards, we are going to start with AWS options like a golden AMI creation. All right. So there, or in future sessions, I'm going to make our EC2 instance as a web server. So you guys get familiar with this. Volumes, I'm not going to use it again and again. But this web server configuration, right? Installing web server and all, delivering a web page, that I'm going to do it in future. So get familiar with that process. Okay. Yeah. See you again.